This is how I turned this into this. And you may be surprised on how I organized it. My grandmother's recipes were collected over decades and passed on to my mom and then passed on to me. And when I received them, I knew for sure I wanted to have them preserved and maintained in a scrapbook junk journal form. And this is what I created. I spent a few days dedicated to creating this book of recipes that I can hand down to my kids. I put a lot of time and energy thinking about the details, and I gotta say this project was so therapeutic for me. I felt very connected to my mom, who's still with me, and my grandmother, who passed several years ago. There are so many fun little tidbits in this book, and I'd like to share some of them with you. As you can see, the recipes were in terrible shape. They were just clipped and stored, nothing special. And if my grandma liked the recipe, she may have rewritten it onto a card. But overall, a lot of the recipes I received look like this. So I wanted to preserve them. I didn't want them to deteriorate any further. So I pulled out my laminator and I laminated each clipping of my favorite recipes. I also created this book with lots of space so that I could store all the recipes in a junk journal style. When I tried to organize everything into categories, I felt like I was forcing a square peg into a round hole. It took all the creativity and whimsy out of it. Because it's more like a junk journal, everything is placed based on the look and feel. I coordinated the recipe according to how it made me feel and the colors that I thought would go with it. And a lot of the time, there were some details in the back that I just tied into the spread. This one, for instance, this holiday turkey casserole was clipped by my grandmother, but on the back it had a colorful ad for a $14.99 jacket. It matches perfectly with this spread here of tomatoes. I added several other things like embossed note cards. I used my Sizzix for this, lots of pockets, lots of stickers and die cuts. And if there was more than one page, I used an eyelet to connect them, just to add a little vintage touch. The biggest thing for me was to preserve these as they were, and you can see that some of these are naturally aged over time. This one's another cute one that I found. It has a nice recipe for a pumpkin pie, but on the back you can get a wooden chip waterbed for $157.50. I actually coordinated the spread to match the back of this recipe with the red and green. I have a conversion chart, and then as my mom and grandmother started to exchange recipes, there were several that were typewritten and exchanged among their friends and co-workers. As you can see, I just added a bunch of them. Here's another luggage for $9.33. I mean, this is just a piece of history that I wanted to save just so I can think of them when I'm looking through it or grabbing a recipe that I want to recreate. A funny thing is my grandmother loved persimmon cookies. She had the best ones. I think she may have created her own recipe based on a bunch of the ones that are in here, because she has a lot of persimmon recipes and a lot of fruitcake recipes. This is the one that I remember her making from. And as you can tell, this one was one of her favorites. It didn't stay perfect. It was typewritten. But there's also a little, maybe a little butter or a little something on there that adds to the vintage. Now that is memorialized and treasured forever. I also left some spaces so that I can add photos of my grandmother and my mother later on. And I also add pockets so I could have some of the larger prints in here. Some of these were just made by hand on some paper, nothing fancy. They wrote down recipes as they went along or as they discovered them. I also made a folder for some super small ones and pockets everywhere. I also embossed a paper bag with my Sizzix and a kitchen themed embossing folder. I added some cards and room for me to add my own recipes. I will also be putting some photos in here as well. I have pockets all around. Another pocket here that has several inside. I backed it with some paper. And here are some more recipes. One thing you'll notice as we look through this book is most of them are baked goods. And that's because my mother and my grandmother didn't use measurements when they cook. And they actually listed just ingredients so they wouldn't forget what to put in it. But everything was done by memory and sight. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I remember calling my Nana and saying, Nana, how do I make this? She says, well, I'll have to show you because you eyeball everything. And she couldn't give me an exact measurement, which is exactly how I cook. And whenever someone wants my recipes, I have to go back, recreate them, and measure them for them, because otherwise I'd say a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And nothing was really measured until now. I'm making an effort to try to memorialize all those family recipes and measuring them so that I can pass them down to my sons. That'd be a really good thing for them to have. You know, I could have scanned and printed all these out and cleaned them up and maybe typed them up nicely in really cute recipe cards. But this is one of the reasons why I didn't. As I mentioned, some of these had some history on the back. This particular one is actually my lunch menu from 1983. I actually circled everything that I wanted for lunch that week or that month, and my mom found a recipe on the back and she kept it. This is the kind of stuff you can't recreate. If I were to scan it, it just would lose all its personality. And here's another persimmon cookie recipe. It's no surprise that every time I see persimmons, I think of my Nana. This one's actually really funny because there isn't a title. I really don't know what it makes, but I did figure out that it has to be some kind of cookie because it makes 2.5 dozen. I'm gonna have to try it and see how it turns out. I also made some little paper clips out of paper. These are really fun. If there's anything here that you see that I'm showing that you'd like me to do a short tutorial, I could do a short or a reel on. Let me know if there's something here that you'd like me to recreate. I kind of just put a little bit of everything. I did lots of folders, lots of files, just so I have room for all the good stuff. I have a belly band here, and in here I also added some index cards again, so I can put my own recipes in here. Another carrot cake with some Halloween story on the back, which I just loved. Now I did put these through using elastic band. This is elastic with some eyelet around it. And I did that because I didn't want it to be anything permanent. I wanted to be able to switch out or add to this scrapbook basically. And so I just used elastic bands that were decorated to hold all the paper spreads in. Here are a few more that were well loved. Here's another brown paper bag embossed for more notes and photos, a belly band. A lot of these are folders themselves, so you'll find there's recipes inside here as well. And then these, my grandma had a lot of these. These were made from C&H sugar. They used to come in cardboard boxes. I think now they just come in plastic bags. But on the back of every cardboard box, there was a recipe. So I saved a few of those that looked pretty good. My grandmother was a seamstress, so a lot of these she cut with her pinking shears. So to pass that down after I laminated it, I also used my pinking shears. Just a little touch like that. And again, here's another school menu, and this is before my time. This must have been from my mom because the junior high beef on a bun was 20 cents. I mean, where can you get that? I know my lunch was 85 cents. So this had to have been maybe for an older cousin or for my mother. And then I have these belly bands for the larger notes. I just wanted to keep the ones that were in their handwriting. I also have a tutorial on how you can create a dishcloth using handwritten recipes. I'll link that below. That's something I did a few years ago, and I really love how that turned out. Again, another recipe. I added some doilies, and this is a flip up for some molasses muffins, again with the pinking shears, and then a little story about someone named Olga on the back here. Really cute. And then I have a folder here, another recipe. These were being passed around at work, at my mom's work, and then another recipe there. And then I have lots of folders and little pockets everywhere. And again, here's the band holding this section. I just added eyelet to elastic there. And then I have some cutouts. And we're getting more into like the garden here. Here's a little bread for a note. And then I created this little sandwich with my Sizzix and embossing folder. It says the greatest thing since sliced, obviously bread. So I can add some notes here, some little tidbits and photos. I have collected a lot of them from my mom. I'm going to be scanning those in to preserve them, laminate them, and I'll be adding them to my book here as well. Another belly band, some more envelopes or folders. There's another recipe for popcorn balls, cobbler. My grandma liked to cut out the CH sugar. This is the white sugar one. So I have a white sugar and brown sugar. And of course that's an example of how that is matching this paper. So I kind of really used the recipes to guide me, and I didn't put them in any category. I know exactly where they all are. Another paper clip that I created. This is actually a fold out. Just a card. Another belly band for new things that I will be adding. And some more recipes in the back. And then I have a 2-tiered envelope here. So, and then a couple cute little fruit themed tags. And I'll be adding more embellishments as I can. So the goal here was to preserve the memory of my grandmother and her cooking that she passed down to my mom, and then my mom's given me. And I just love the way this all turned out. I love that it may not be organized in a traditional recipe book way, but I know where it's all at, and it's kind of the way we cooked. It's just this way. So if you've ever felt that something has to be perfectly organized to work, it really doesn't. This worked so much better for me, and it just feels right. It feels like home. So I'd like to know, are you more organized or are you more like this? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever made something like this, tag me. I'd love to see it. And if you'd like to see more detail on how it was actually constructed, or if there is a piece of the scrapbook that you want a little more instruction on, let me know and I'll create a short video for you. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this flip through of my family recipe book, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.